Okay, I'm going to show you guys how to update this firmware. Down here you'll see it doesn't matter what firmware you're running as long as it's not 2.02 for this demonstration. So down here you can see AEM V2 1.24, and don't worry about any of these parameters here on the left. I actually have an ECU just sitting on a table that I've jumpered for power and ground just for demonstration. So you'll also notice that this is just the Series 2 EMS default workspace, so there's no flex fuel tabs or flex boost or anything like that up here. So go up here to ECU, upload EMS firmware, and it shows here what you're currently running 1.24, and what you're going to go to is 2.02. And you don't have to upload a calibration. I'm just going to throw this in here. It doesn't matter which one. You don't have to do this right now. You can do this after you've done the firmware. So click OK. Now, make sure that you do not lose power excuse me, to your ECU from your car. Like if your battery has low voltage and you lose connection during this process, you have to clear the EMS firmware. It's a problem. If you have USB connection problems during this process, you have problems. So just make sure that you have good battery voltage everywhere, and also make sure that your laptop is either fully charged or not about to die. So if you lose connection during this process, it's kind of a pain in the butt to go through, but it is possible. So if you do get connection errors or something, I'm going to make another video for that. Don't worry, I got you covered. So power cycle the EMS after it's done. Just follow the instructions. Power it back on. Click OK. Alright. So now you've updated the firmware. Now you'll see down here it says AEM V2 2.02 down at the very bottom. So now go up here to File, Workspace, and we'll just use the default Flex Fuel workspace. Okay, so this is how this is going to work. Over here, let's get all this set up first. Actually, sorry, this was my last video, but this should be all default settings. But the very first thing you're going to do is, doggone it, okay, these should be all your default settings. Sorry, I was doing a practice run. Anyway, so the first thing you're going to do is you're going to select your input. I highly recommend one of the switches. They work the best, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So just to keep things, let's say you want to do switch 3. So we'll select switch 3. That's going to be your input. Go to, it's just not shown on here, so go to insert, type in switch. Let's do 3 falling, 3 rising. Okay, so now we've inserted these channels. So now here's the thing. One of these, doesn't matter which one, needs to be rising edge. It could be one of them needs to have an edge, whether it be falling or rising. So it could be, you could have the falling edge on, you could have the rising edge on. It doesn't really matter however you do it, but just know that one of these needs to be on. I've used on both of them and it works, but it seems to be a little smoother signal with one on and one off. So so you got that on. Switch 3 is your input. Okay, flex fuel failsafe. Let's say that for some reason your flex fuel sensor just dies, or you lose signal, or you get a break in the wire or something like that. Whatever value you put in here, let's say it's 50. Then what that does is it's going to do, it's based off of this table, whatever you set this table up. But if it was 50, then it would be blended 50-50% in between whatever these values are and whatever this value is. And this will make more sense if I'm going to do this. So this is your flex fuel map, right? These are your values. So if we were going to start from scratch, let's just say, let's select this whole thing, put it in here. Come on, come on, come on. Okay, and then let's do this. Let's just add like 20% or something. AEM Pro style. Okay, so we just added 20% to the whole map. It might be closer to 30 or something like that, but whatever. This is just a demo. So what we did is this is going to be our flex fuel map now. They're two completely separate maps. So what you're going to do is you're going to blend in between these values. Oops, sorry. Dang it. In these values. Oop, doggone it. whatever. It's because it did the copy and paste thing, but in between whatever these values were and whatever these values are. Okay, so the next thing we need to do is set up this one. So let's say that you're primarily going to be running E85, and this right here is going to be the map that you tuned 100% on E85. Okay, so we'll get the E85, we'll set these, oops, we'll set them to 100. Okay, so what we just did was, whenever your flex fuel coming in, your flex fuel blend, and it'll tell you right here, is 85% or higher, that this map will be, you will be running only the values in this fuel map. It won't have anything to do with this fuel map. Okay, so, and then everything in between, right there, is going to be blended. So let's say you're on 50-50 right here. Then that means you're going to be running a 50-50 blend of whatever, let's say at zero, basically at atmospheric at 1750 at 7.9, right? And then if you go over here, dang it, and what was it, 0.3 at 1750 right here. So it's going to be running a 50% blend in between this 4.4 value, this pulse width, and this pulse width. Okay, so it's a mediary point, so it's blending between these two maps. It says, okay, this is my E85 map, and this is my my pump gas map, and I'm told that if I'm at 50%, I'm going to be right in the middle of these two maps. So it makes a calculated value. Now, if you guys were going to be doing like, you know, E100 or something like that, and you want to, you know, really fully blended table, you can just do something like this. If this map right here represented a 100% ethanol blend, not an E85. This one right here, this flex temperature, this is only for logging purposes, but it is really helpful for knowing fuel temperature as it's returning back to your tank. Again, there's no trims based on this, and this table will depend on what sensor you have. But if you get the one from AEM, or you can look it up online, they give you what it should be, the temperature versus the MS on this. So really helpful to log. And then let's see what else we got. We'll start over here, flex start. So now what you've got, and you can see I already did that one table, and it takes the values from this table and it puts them right here, same table. Okay, now these are all your flex start maps. So if you're running 100% ethanol, you would be using all of these maps and none of these maps. Make sense? Hope so. Pretty simple. What else we got? Flex start, flex fuel, flex O2 feedback. Same thing. Look, it's already set up. Runs that same map. And then, you know, like these were all the default values, right, for gasoline. You can copy and paste this map right into here, and it's a good starting point. Flex ignition, same thing. Now this one does not take from the fuel map, but you can set it up the same way. So let's say I had it at 100, didn't I? Just to keep things the same here. So Control-Alt-H, boom. Okay. So now, whenever you run an E100, whatever values are in this map is what you're using, versus this map, which is pure pump gas, and it blends in between the values of these two maps. You've also got, let's see, flex boost. So, and I already had this set up from last video. So let's say you're at 20 here. If you're at, again, this map is not the same as the other two. It's got its own. So we'll set this to 100, and then we'll make just a nice blend. So if you're running E100, you're using this map for boost target gear, 100%. And versus whatever this is, I set it to 15 on pure pump gas. So it blends in between 15 psi and 20 psi, in between those two. And I think flex fuel O2 feedback, flex ignition, I think that's it. The primary stuff is going to be in here, you know, blending your fuel and whatnot, and getting your ignition ready. Let's see if this. Yeah, and then you could just take these values and just, increase them or whatever. This is just for demo purposes, but something like that. So, and then this would be your E85 map. But that's it, guys. It's really simple. It's really straightforward. There's not a whole lot to it. It's a simple concept, and it works really well. So spend some time, tune your car 100% on pump gas, and your timing 100% on pump gas, and then get all these set up. Then get it all out and get E85 or something higher, and then tune this map, and then tune your flex ignition, and then all you're going to do is blend between the two tables. Works great.